Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. I am here today to talk about my May TBR. Super excited about this month's reading plans because it is the first month that I have had no school for the past several years, and it just feels really good to officially be done and be able to dive back into reading all the way. Definitely started picking back up on my reading in April, but May really is the month to dive back in. I graduate on May 3rd, which is very exciting. And then from there, I'm just spending the month working full-time and not really doing much of anything else. So I'm very excited about it, very excited about all these books that I have in front of me today to talk about with y'all, and also just have some freedom and flexibility to kind of read what I want, as well as work on my goals for the year, several of which include knocking down my physical TBR, getting the Book of the Month challenge completed, and catching up on all things NetGalley. So I've got a little bit of everything in this stack. I have brought back my TBR box, so I will have a couple clips in here where I draw out the books. The box is not here. I already drew out the books because I did it at my apartment where all of my physical books are, but I did bring the books here to my fiance's house to chat about with y'all, and you'll get to see me pick those titles out of the box, and we'll chat about the books really quickly, and we'll just talk about all my reading plans for the month of May. I have no set reading vlogs currently. I would like to do at least one in the month of May. None of these books are specifically for a vlog right now, but they could end up being in a vlog. So keep an eye out for any future videos coming out that may or may not feature these books on my May TBR. But we are going to go in order today of book club books, TBR box books, and then everything else that I have on this list. And then hopefully at the end of May / early June, when I give my wrap up, there will be some additional books in here that I was able to pick out, just kind of like feeling in the mood for, or that I was able to catch up on, because there probably will be some rollover books from April, just because I haven't caught up all the way with finishing up school and all those things. So I'm not going to mention those rollover books, but they may or may not be read in the month of May, or I might forget about them for a little while. I don't know. We're just kind of going with the flow right now and seeing what happens with those books. However, I do have a very good stack here, and I am very excited to share them with y'all. First up, I do have 3 book clubs for the month of May. First is my romance book club that I co-host with Stasia. We are reading Unromanced by Erin Connor. This is about a romance novelist and a TV heartthrob who fake date and fall in love. I've been anticipating this book for a very long time now, and I cannot wait to get to it. I will also be reading With My Little Eye by Jocelyn Jackson for the Shelf This Book Club. I actually picked this to read with the host, Bailey. Every month she chooses somebody to co-host her book club with her, and the month of May is my month, and I picked out a thriller. No idea what this one is about, but it looks very eerie, and I've had it on my shelf for quite a while now. And then the third book club book that I have is The Garden by Nick Newman. This is for an in-person book club that an indie bookstore hosts here in Nashville. I've gone to several meetings in the past, but haven't had time recently, just with school stuff and just the busyness of life. So I am excited to get back into it. This is a thriller. I know it gives off the Secret Garden vibes, but with like a mystery involved. Otherwise, I have no idea what it's about, but I am excited to kind of get back into an in-person book community as well, because I have gone in the past and I've really enjoyed it. And it is always fun to talk about books with people who have the same hobby as you. Moving into my TBR box books, I will be inserting clips as I talk right now, showing the books that I did pull out. I chose 4 for the month of May, 3 romances and 1 thriller. The TBR box did me good this month, and I'm very excited about the stack that I pulled out. First up is Never Ever Getting Back Together by Sophie Gonzalez. Honestly, I have no idea how I acquired this arc. I do not recall, but I have read a book by this author in the past and really enjoyed it. I don't really know what it's about, but it kind of sounds like it gives Bachelor vibes, but it's about 2 girls who are trying to get back at somebody, potentially, who got their hearts broken by the same guy. So should be a fun time. But I really enjoyed Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez in the past, and I think I've read another book as well. Now that I think about it, I think I've read 2 books by this author, so excited to dive into this one also. I also drew Blindside by Candy Steiner out of the TBR box. Very excited about this one. I have read the first book in the series, which was Fair Catch. I actually read it for the book club that I co-host. Several years ago we read it and I loved it, so I am excited to get to this one. This is about Clay, and I don't know the female main character's name, Gianna, but this is a fake dating or like a tutor, like he tutors her on relationships. But it's also football romance, so should be a fun time. I also drew out Things I Wanted to Say by Monica Murphy. I've had this book on my shelf for so long. I really enjoy this author. I've read several books by her in the past and really enjoyed them. I've heard the best things about the Lancaster series. I've read spin-offs of this family, I believe, in the past, and I'm just really looking forward to finally getting to this one. It is a chunk. I don't know what it's about exactly, but it is a bully romance and it takes place at a prep school, I believe. But I love Monica Murphy, so I am very curious about this one as well. And then finally, out of that TBR box, I got Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. I've also had this book on my shelf for forever. I got it from Aardvark, I want to say last year at the very earliest, if not the year before that. But this one is about a killer who haunts a small southern town and 2 outcasts, the preacher's daughter and the boy from the wrong side of the tracks, who hold the key to uncovering the truth. I have not read anything by this author before, but I have heard good things, so hopefully this one is another good time. It is kind of chonky though, but I do need to be reading books from Aardvark because I've had my subscription with them for quite a while now and have not read any single book that I've gotten by them, so I really need to do better about that, and I'm glad that the TBR box picked this one for me this month. The last 5 books that I have to chat about are just books that I kind of want to get to if there is time. There should be, but I've had my eye on all of these for a while now and want to get to them. First up is a NetGalley arc that comes out, I want to say at the end of May or early June. It is Sister Butcher Sister. I don't really know what it's about, but I got an arc of it on NetGalley. It's a killer thriller, so it should be a very fun time. I've been in such a mood for thrillers recently and cannot wait to get to this one. I also would like to get to Confessions by Kanae Minato. I remember back when this book was very popular on social media, it was talked about all the time, and I heard some really fun things about it, but this is a translated thriller or a translated piece of fiction about this mother who's a teacher and her daughter was killed by her students is what she's saying, and the back of the book says now she will have her revenge. I got a copy of this book used. It is not super long, but one of my goals for this year, like an unofficial goal, is to read more translated works just because I've been gravitating toward several that have caught my eye recently. So I do want to give this one a shot and see what it's all about because I did hear really good things about it several years ago when everybody seemed to be reading it. I also put a hold on 2 Freida McFadden books from the library because even though I don't enjoy a lot of her books, I have found a couple that I have liked. So I would like to get to The Teacher and also The Coworker. I always go into her books blind. I just expect a very, very bingeable time with them. If I read both of these, I think I'll have read about 11 of her books total so far, which is probably the most books I've ever read by the same author. So we'll see how these 2 stack up in my unofficial ranking of her books. Might do a Freida McFadden vlog or like a Freida McFadden ranking video. Let me know if you want to see that. I have some strong opinions on some of her books, but I have found a couple good ones that I've also enjoyed as well. So would like to get to those 2, especially because I have them checked out from my library right now. The final book that I officially have on my May TBR is Every Sweet Thing is Bitter by Samantha Cruson. This is a debut thriller. It came out on Book of the Month in April, I think. That cover, that back of the cover is so beautiful. I just now noticed it. And I honestly have no idea what it's about, but I'll read the little yellow text right here for you all. It says, a woman with a violent past gets a chance at redemption in this upmarket suspense debut. I am trying my hardest to get the Book of the Month challenge completed earlier rather than later this year. One, I love a good thriller, so I always tend to gravitate toward those picks on the Book of the Month app when all of their picks drop every month. But this one is also a debut, which will help me get another badge. It'll get me a step closer to the debut darling badge, I think is what it's called. So I do want to get to this one. Ideally, I get to a couple of Book of the Month books in the month of May, but haven't quite officially picked anything out yet, and we'll see if I end up getting to anything else from that subscription. But I'm going to get the prize this year, and I'm going to get it before November of 2025. That is my goal, and it's going to be great. And also I just want to catch up on my Book of the Month books in general, because I have so many that I get and I just don't read them as fast as I get them, so I'm trying to play catch up a little bit. So I'm sure I'll get to hopefully 1 or 2 more Book of the Month books in May, but we will see. These are all the books that I officially have on my May TBR. This is about what I tend to read in 1 month, but without being in school and not having a ton of plans throughout the month, I'm hoping to read a little bit more than this. So we'll see what I get to in my May wrap up. Also hoping to incorporate a couple of these books into a reading vlog at some point this month, so keep an eye out for that. If you plan to read any fun books in the month of May, feel free to comment down below and let me know. Always looking to add more things to my TBR. Cannot wait to get to all of these. Keep an eye out for all my thoughts on these books coming at some point at the end of May or beginning of June. Hopefully they will all be a great time though. That's all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.